Greetings, space friends! The battlecruiser you are seeing here is the Romulan Winged Defender. It's a ship design that came from the old tabletop game, the Starship Tactical Combat Simulator, published by FASA way back in 1986. My own version is enhanced from the original, but even the original FASA design is my second favorite all-time Star Trek ship design, next to the motion picture era Enterprise. The Winged Defenders are ships that were used by the Romulan Star Empire in the contentious late 23rd century era, from about the time of the V'ger incident and through all the original movies. My own version is an upgraded one, differing slightly from the original. It entered service around the turn of the 24th century. It still may not have been quite as powerful as a Starfleet Excelsior class heavy cruiser, but it would have been tactically superior to anything else at the time, such as the refit Constitution class cruisers or the Constellation class cruisers like Picard's first command, the Stargazer. However, by the time of the TNG era, it would have been an aging design still in use, much like Starfleet's Miranda class, upgraded and maintained over the decades as a reliable space frame. Now, I love this ship, and I will go over the 6 ways the design works. I did already make an over-the-top video about the ship quite a while ago. However, this highly underrated ship design deserves far more screen time in videos, and perhaps some fan fiction in the near future. So let's begin. Design feature number 1, the bird aesthetic. There is no ship in science fiction that looks more like a giant raptor on the attack, with talons outstretched. The raptor is a kind of spiritual icon for the Romulans, a symbol for their outlook on the universe, awesomely beautiful, but also dangerous and predatory. This design element is mostly psychological, meant to inspire the soldiers in the Romulan military, as well as intimidate their enemies. With this design, finally the Romulans don't just paint birds of prey on their ships like the old days. The ship actually becomes the raptor. Design feature number 2, the moving wing mechanism. In order to stay true to the attacking raptor aesthetic, defenders have an attack mode and a cruise mode. In cruise mode, the warp nacelles have full line of sight to each other rather than partial line of sight so that they can work more efficiently in tandem. In attack mode, the excessive plasma flow through the wings to the nacelles is mostly blocked off to minimize catastrophe in battle, and instead shunted into the powerful impulse drive. In cruise mode, this warp plasma flow is fully unobstructed. Number 3, the weapon's talons. A distinctive feature of the Defender are the 2 cannon-like weapons below the main hull, outstretched like talons. There is some debate in the most exclusive circles of nerd apocrypha about what these weapons are. Some say energy weapons, some say projectile weapons, and others say plasma, etc. My answer, all of the above. Much like the Miranda class, these pods could be outfitted with plasma launchers, photon torpedoes, or some form of heavy assault disruptor, and possibly a combination of weapons. Since enormous amounts of power in the form of electroplasma may be moving into these weapons when armed, they are kept some distance from the hull for safety, but retracted while in cruise mode. Today, they are armed with photon torpedoes. Some other day, they may be outfitted with plasma launchers or assault disruptors, or even something else entirely. Number 4, the electro-plasma power system. High-energy plasma is the lifeblood of this ship. It is generated from a central location in the main chassis. The Defenders could use a dilithium-focused warp core, much like the Federation and Klingon ships, or they could later be upgraded to use a quantum singularity core, an exclusively Romulan technology that harnesses the power of a small black hole. In either case, this is the heart of the ship. The plasma is spread through the ship through a number of conduits like arteries, and powers the warp nacelles, main impulse drive, and weapons. It also charges conventional energy cells for power storage. Number 5, the enormous wing area. Some nerds may argue that it's inefficient and unnecessarily extravagant for this ship to have these big wings, with all this plasma powering the ship, especially in combat. Internal heat becomes a serious problem. The wings are for more than just looks. Excess heat and radiation is dissipated through the wings. This is an engineering principle that is utilized even in today's 21st century spacecraft. There are also plasma vents used to bleed off excess plasma. And finally, number 6, the iridescent colors of the ship, especially on the wings. At first glance, you might think that the Romulans are just showing off, being the prideful people that they are, and you wouldn't be totally wrong. But there is a practical reason you are seeing this iridescent effect on parts of the ship's hull, also called diffraction grating, a feature of surfaces that are used in imaging and even holographic projection. Yes, this is part of the ship's cloaking system on at least the visual level. It looks iridescent when the cloak is not in use, as the surface still scatters light photons in a less deliberate manner. However, when in use, the photons are controlled in a specific manner to generate the optical illusion of invisibility. Of course, for emissions beyond the visual spectrum, more sophisticated systems are also used to hide the ship's presence, requiring an enormous portion of the ship's power and limiting its abilities, such as high warp speed or high power maneuvers while cloaked. I fully intend to use this ship more, and I'm really tempted to write a good bit of fanfiction about it. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in some semi-visual fanfiction, perhaps something I could put up on the website at resurrectedstarships.com. Also, I want to really thank my Patreon supporters at patreon.com/resurrected. If you don't like Patreon, I'm working on getting the membership portion of my channel up and running. If you want to support the channel that way, you may or may not have the ability to join by the time this video is released, but that is coming. Well, that's it for now, space friends. Until next time.